Blog Talk Radio.
Following ingredients include a look behind the scenes. Cook uncovered until hot. Add grooves to taste.
I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl.
The accident was over a year ago. A second woman has been elected president. The 12th planet has been named in the solar system. The last wild polar bear has died. I slept through it all. I was here for my waking. He called it a beginning. He said it was good. I think he may have thought that anything I did was good.
Welcome to Transition Radio, live from Hollywood, Florida, with your host and hostess, Mark Angelo and Jessica Lynn Cummings. Show for trans folks, by trans folks, here to let your voice be heard.
Well, good evening, and welcome to another edition of Transition Radio, live from Hollywood, Florida. We want to thank our guest yesterday, Elvira Diaz, heartfelt story and a wonderful mother. We want to thank all our guests and our future guests, and we can't wait to get you on the show. We want to get the interaction. We want to make this show number one of a show that's going to be felt in your hearts and soul. Well, tonight I'm going to start with transgender world news, and my beautiful fiancée, Jessica, has got some news for you.
Yes, I did. We're going to take a different twist on the news tonight. We're going to go with something a little more uplifting and funny. Well, here it is. A cross-dressing dating site has been forced to shut down. Candy Floss is confused over how it all went wrong. A website set up to help cross-dressers, transvestites, and transsexuals find love with an understanding partner has been forced to close after being open only a month due to massive complaints from its customers. When I set the site up, I thought it would be a boon to the sexually confused, said Candy Floss, a cross-dressing transsexual from Leeds who was born a woman that transitioned to become a man and now dresses like a woman. However, the whole gender-confused dating scene is, well, confused. This site was initially a hit among the transvestite and transsexual community, but when the dating software started making matches, things got out of hand very quickly. Men who dress as women would put down their gender as women and request dates with women who dress as men, said Floss. However, the women who dress as men would put their gender down as men, as would female to male transsexuals. Transvestites were refusing to check either box, or they would check both boxes. The dating system wasn't written to cater to this kind of confusion. Dates were being set up between straight men and transvestites, gay men and straight women, lesbians and transvestite men, much to the amazement and confusion of those who were meeting up. It was a nightmare, said Gary Jones, who prefers to be known as Gabriella. I went on my date clutching my reincarnation as arranged, only to discover that Kitty was actually Dave, a builder from Hemel Hempstead. We did have a good time, and he was very understanding of my desires, but not what I was after, nor was I what he was after. Although most of the users of the site have been left disappointed, one couple did find true love. I met up with Honey, said Kevin Hilbert, who prefers to be known as Catherine. She wasn't what I was looking for, but while we were eliminating the crapness of the dating site, two hunky guys came up and asked us out. Now me and Honey have found the men for us. Amazingly, neither of us knew we were gay.
That was a very confusing story.
Yes, it was. And that was the point. Welcome to the transgender world, confusing news.
All right, well, we're going to talk a little bit about our logo and the controversy that has been placed upon it. So let's see. Jessica created our logo. For those who have not seen it yet, it's our image with wings. I'm without a shirt. I'm usually without a shirt. And Jessica's nipples are blacked out.
And there was a few sarcastic opinions and even got referred to as porn. I undressed Barbie today and realized she has breasts but no nipples, has a camel toe but no vajayjay, and yet millions of children play with Barbies every day. Does that mean Mattel is promoting porn?
Yeah. And by the way, Ken has no weenie. So how do Ken and Barbie get intimate when Ken has no weenie, Barbie has no nipples, nor a vajayjay?
Words to ponder. No, but seriously, actually the image and the thought behind the logo was to promote transgender angelicacy. We are angelic and beautiful. And with that being said, we as transgender individuals are angelic beings and special in every way. Also, it was to promote self-love and expression about one's body and not to be ashamed.
There's nothing to be ashamed of.
Absolutely not.
Heavenly all the way. We're going to talk about marriage that have ended due to transition. Although gender identity and sexual preference have nothing to do with each other, our partners in life before transitioning don't always understand. They feel cheated, hurt, and want nothing to do with our change. This usually ends up in divorce. I'm going to read you a story called Transgender Love, When Husband Becomes Wife. When Diana Danielle met her husband, Wesley, she was attracted to his smile, quiet humor, and gentleness, and of course, his Dutch accent. Though it shocked her, she dismissed the occasional cross-dressing as they dated and lived together as just part of his nerdy nonconformity. But 2 months into their marriage, in 2004, her husband revealed at dinner that he wanted to live as a woman, and the couple embarked on a long, wrenching journey to stay together.
Wessel is now Lena, and at 47, she has transitioned publicly from male to female. Diane, now 53, and a freelance writer living in North Carolina, describes in a recent story in the Boston Globe, "Goodbye husband, hello wife," how her life was turned on its head when she learned her husband was transgender. "I detached emotionally and physically," she writes. "I cried every day. I wondered what else he hasn't told me. I feared something was wrong with me to attract this kind of mate. I was angry and ashamed." Lena was in exactly the opposite place psychologically.
For me, it was a big coup. I finally made a choice, and a big burden was off my shoulders. She works for a medical diagnostic company, but her whole world collapsed. Diane needed to grieve and say goodbye to the old me and the things that were left behind. I had the strange realization that I was at a birthday party, and she was at a funeral.
The turning point for Diane was when Lena told her, "What I fear most is that you'll see me as a monster or some kind of freak. That everyone will, but mostly you." Slowly, Diane was able to open her heart, and their story illustrates the complex world of sexuality, gender, and the power of love. But it is also a call for acceptance for the 750,000 Americans who identify as transgender. About 3% of the population, according to the Williams Institute, an LGBT think tank at the UCLA Law School.
That's 0.3%, by the way. It's all right. A 2011 landmark reports Injustice at Every Turn concludes that nearly every system and institution in the United States, education, employment, housing, and healthcare, discriminates against transgender Americans. The report was conducted by the National Center of Transgender Equality and the National Gay and Lesbian Task Force, which surveyed 6,450 Americans who are transgender or non-gender conforming. An estimated 45% of those surveyed said that the relationship with a spouse or partner ended because of their transgender identity. Surprisingly, 55% stayed on their relationship and it ended for other reasons, according to that report.
Wow, this situation sounds all too familiar. I mean, it is almost an identical representation of my marriage. And unfortunately, my marriage ended due to me being transgender. Now Mark will discuss the importance of eating right while on hormones.
Before that, you want to elaborate a little bit more?
Yeah, I can go into further detail. basically, my whole situation was pretty much spot on to what this story was about. The only fluctuation that was different from it was the fact that me and my wife, which is now my ex-wife, ended up getting divorced. A lot of this was due partially to the denial factor of the whole situation. I mean, I've denied myself my whole entire life that I was transgender or that there was something wrong with me. That I just like to step outside the realm of the real world and be someone different every now and again. But the reality hit down the road, and when I finally came out to my ex-wife, that basically after my situation in 2008, I knew where I needed to go. And once I came out to her and told her this situation, that I needed to move forward and I needed to transition. I need to be the woman that I know that I am. And this caused a lot of friction, a lot of anger, a lot of hatred. And it took a very long time for us to get over the bumps and bruises from the whole thing. But we did turn around to be, and we are now currently best friends, and, our relationship as friends has grown because she now accepts me, and it took some time. So, yes, my marriage was one of the casualties and statistics of failure.
It's very difficult. You start a relationship, and all of a sudden a situation like this takes place that the partner is not at all prepared for. I was personally married to a genetic female who had met me when I was still a female, and she went through my transition with me, and we were together for 9 years. But for the last 2 years, we kind of grew apart. So it doesn't always have to end up being a male and a female situation. It could also be two, at the time I was lesbian, two lesbian couples that actually transitioned together and then just fall apart. So I'm going to go ahead and discuss now the importance of eating right while on hormones, which is something that's very, very important, and most of us don't do. Maybe lack of information, education, maybe it's just something that's very difficult, a lot of anxiety involved in transition and so forth and so on. So I want to explain that taking hormones comes with many risks, but there are ways to help minimize this. First, by taking bioidentical hormones, which is something I highly recommend. It's much gentler on your body due to the increased amount of fillers, and it's much more relevant, has more of a relevant acquaintance to your system. Balancing hormone levels is a secret to losing weight. Sleeping, being more energized, stress-free, and feeling better. And as we transgender individuals realize that it takes some adjusting to, the adjustment period can come with greater ease by respecting our bodies. First of all, we need to get proper sleep, drink plenty of water, and minimize foods that have hormones, additives, preservatives, and fillers in them. Hormones place extra stress on your liver, and the last thing we need is to create more problems for the organ that filters out all the bad stuff. Eat before 7:30 p.m. Be sure to eat a balance of carbohydrates, protein, and fat in all 3 meals. About 55% or so of your total daily calories should come from carbs. Around 25 to 30% should come from protein, and the remaining 20 to 15% from fats. If you're really serious about your health, there are many steps you can take. For instance, you can start by detoxifying. Once you detoxify, then you're going to regenerate. And finally, a maintenance plan that you can deal in your lifestyle that keeps you in balance. I'm available for consults and have helped many transgender and non-transgender individuals alike. Feel free to shoot me an email at markangelocummings@yahoo.com, and we can work out a payment plan that suits your budget. Working out is also important. It's important in terms of hormone therapy. The need for your system to sweat, pump blood through its system, and have a proper exchange of oxygen with carbon dioxide is imperative for your mental and physical health. We don't seem to understand we're putting in dangerous stuff inside our bodies, and it has different, yes, you have a question.
I have a question. So the purpose of eating hormone-free, like if I was to eat chicken with hormones in it, are my breasts going to get bigger?
Yes, but they might also get cancer cells. because any excess,
we don't want that.
Your body works in a magnificent way. It's called homeostasis. It's to stay in balance. So when you put things inside the body does not recognize, i.e., synthetic hormones and what they feed the cows and the chickens, everything like that is very synthetic. So your body's taking in all this excess stuff and doesn't know what to do with it. After a while, your liver gets up, and then what happens? The residue starts to turn to cancer cells and all sorts of diseases, so forth and so on. I hate to sound like a preacher, but I have been on both spectrum. I've eaten very healthy. Matter of fact, I was 13 months a raw vegan, and I'm tired of being telling you this. I miss being a raw vegan because I felt vibrant and healthy.
When I was a raw vegan, I felt so good.
It is. It was like I used to run 7 miles every morning. I had all the energy in the world. I was able to buy clothes in the kids department because that's $35 cheap, which is awesome. Everybody thought I was dying to look like a skeleton.
You had to dance around in the shower to get wet.
Well, pretty much. But I felt good. I felt really, really good, and that's me. I mean, feeling great, feeling healthy is worth its weight in gold. I mean, you could be a billionaire and be unhealthy, and what the heck are you going to do with your billions? So it's important that we balance our life. So now I'm no longer a raw vegan. It's not all Jessica's fault. I mean, after our divorce, I
want to smack you for that.
After I divorced by that hurt. I count straight off because I figure, how in the world am I going to meet anybody if all I'm eating is fruits and greens? Hey, may I take you to a date? Let's go.
Let's get a Wendy's salad bar.
Let's eat tomatoes. So I'm like, you know what, Mark? You're not going to meet anybody by meditating, doing yoga all day, and tending to your garden and eating healthy. So I decided, okay, well, I'll become a vegetarian. So I started doing a little bit of the egg whites and a little bit of the cheese and this and the other, and one thing led to another, and then came Jessica, and they were everything.
Yeah, and when I first met him, the refrigerator was, empty and had, nothing in it, and I'm like, where's all the food? And he's like, well, there's all the vegetables, and I said, are you freaking kidding me? I was like, oh, my God. We rabbit?
And little did she know that I was soon to become a breatharian. For those of you who don't know what a breatharian is, are individuals that live just on breathing. And laugh all you want. Laugh all you want. There are people out there that do this. They're called breatharians. And somehow they've learned through meditation and very special techniques that you kind of feed off the energy of Mother Earth. And they're all laughing.
I'm hungry. I think I'll snort some air today.
No, you breathe in the air and you do this meditation and your cells become vibrant. Your digestive system shuts down completely, which is what happens when you detoxify, by the way. I've got many clients all over the world that I consult via Skype, email, or phone, and I'm there as their mentor and to help them out through the hard times. But when you detoxify, when you do a fast, the first 3 days are the hardest because your stomach is going, hey, did you forget me? But after 3 days, the stomach decides, this person just gave up on eating, so I better just shut down. Once that shuts down, then the body starts to heal. The liver then goes back into all these old injuries that you have inside of it, and it starts to repair itself. You start feeling wonderful. Now all of a sudden you get all this energy, and you're wondering, why am I so alive when I'm not eating anything? All I'm drinking is green juice. But it's now your digestive system shut down. It's like you're running an optimal, and you really feel fantastic. Your wrinkles start to go away. All your ailments start to go away. Your farts don't stink. You have no boogers coming out of your nose. No eye boogies.
TMI.
Okay, I know. But, I'm stalling here. It's we got another 11 minutes left of the show. And callers, call in, please, 646-716-6895. If you have any questions for me, I'd be more than happy to guide you in the right direction. This is what I do. Anyway,
also, if you want to call in and you have anything, if any of you out there are married and you're transitioning and you're having any problems, we want to hear from you as well. And basically, just tell us a little bit about your story on how things are going. As far as with your marriage now, as far as if you're still married, if you ended up in divorce because of your transition. Whatever it was, just give us a call and let us know.
And if you're not transgender but are interested in meeting a transgender person, please call in. We're actually trying to put together, besides our website, we're thinking of ways of creating a better dating site, not like the one that Jessica read about. Definitely
definitely not that one.
So that we can connect beautiful folks together with other beautiful folks. And it's amazing, how difficult it is to find the person you love if you stay home all day, watch TV, and or just go grocery shopping. I mean, there's got to be a way to meet the right kind of person. And I feel it's difficult for us transgender individuals to find love. I was very fortunate that I went into that particular place my beautiful Jessica was working, and it was just a fluke. It was just something. I started eating green vegetables and being by myself, so I decided, let me try to check out some of the places nearby because I don't like to drink and drive. And this is probably 5-10 minutes away from where I live. And there she was, waiting for me to cut the right type of lime that the other bartender messed up. If you guys didn't hear that story before, I went in and I asked, for a drink. I think it was, the cranberry vodka.
Cranberry vodka.
Yes, and that takes a lime. And the young lady who prepared the drink, I think, was either a little bit high or just couldn't find a knife. And I don't know what the heck she cut the lime with, but it looked like she cut it with a screwdriver. So it's like I told the manager, did this woman cut this lime with a screwdriver? And, of course, Jessica came to the rescue. And she very nicely, would you like me to mix you with a drink?
Sir.
And I said, surely. And sure enough, she gave me the drink. The lime was cut nicely. I tasted the drink. It tasted great. And the rest is history. We love at first sight. A woman that can make a good drink gets away into my heart.
Yes, because that means that she can cook a meat meal.
That's it. Although she needs to learn how to do raw vegan stuff, so we could both go raw vegan and start running 7 miles. Get her to quit smoking, so I could stop smoking. But that's a whole lot.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like the things I do for love.
Yeah. Didn't he have a son like that?
Anyway, it's been a whirlwind. We're trying to get the show off the ground and trying to get as many listeners. We want to get sponsors. We want to get advertisers. We want to really make the show, Transition Radio, live from Hollywood, Florida. We want to get as many people to interview as possible. We want to get your interaction. What is it going to take? Do I have to bribe you? Do you have to, say, for every call, I'm going to give you one of my free CDs, or is that going to make you run away further? I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know, but we are in the process of constructing a website. Those of you that are on Transition Radio on Facebook can see the link, can go to it as it's under construction. As we are adding to it and building it up right now, we should be able to launch the full site where it'll just be straight transitionradio.com. It'll have a lot of helpful information. It'll be seen by a lot more people, and hopefully we'll reach a lot more people in this situation that are having problems dealing with transition, family issues, families that are having problems with trans children, that kind of situation. Everything we're looking to do.
Definitely. I'm also in the line of works of getting a transgender specialist or a gender specialist who's done several documentaries with me in the past, and I want to get her on the show and maybe get her as a regular to answer questions for those listeners that want a gender specialist. I'm also an occupational therapist, and I do a lot of psychological counseling as well as spiritual stuff, so any questions for me as well, I'm here for you guys. If you don't want to be online because you're shy and you don't like the way your voice sounds or whatever else, please shoot me an email. Again, markangelocummings@yahoo.com. We try to go on Skype after the show, so if you want to join us, you can do that so we can interact and just create a big old happy family, as I know we all are. We want to thank all our Facebook friends and our Facebook group, Transition Radio, for all the interaction. I put up polls every day, and you guys have been great answering and participating.
Yeah.
We love you guys. We're doing this for you guys so you have a place to talk, have your voice be heard, as I say in the intro all the time. If there's any musicians out there that want to share your MP3s and want it heard on the show, please email them to me and a little bit of your background. If there's anyone that wants to advertise anything, any kind of news, a wedding, or mitzvah, whatever it is that you want, please contact us and we'll announce it on the show. WAD Radio hits a lot of avenues in a lot of places. We've had a lot of listeners. We're thinking of doing other things besides Lock Radio. When we get closer to that, we'll talk a little bit more, but we have a lot of exciting things coming your way. But we always look for your input and your information.
Yeah, definitely.
And you're having a quiet moment. I'm kind of looking at you to say, okay, Spirit, say something else.
You're the talkative one.
I know. Hey, sometimes.
The man of few words.
Yeah. Right. When I have to, I speak, but when I don't, I grunt. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much like a caveman.
That's right. Testosterone does these things. When I was Marissa, you couldn't shut
me. Let me
up.
ask you a question. Why didn't you just bring a big club into the bar and just club me over the head, drag me by the hair back to the house, and call me over?
Because I thought that was a little too aggressive. Instead, I just kind of, swab my way with my hairy chest.
You could have strapped me to the back of your dinosaur, and we could have rode off into the sunset.
We could have, but it didn't happen that way, so...
Considering you are 10 years older than I am.
Yes, I know, and sometimes I forget how young you are, and how sometimes I feel like I have a teenager.
Yeah, see, I'm a 25-year-old and a 16-year-old mind. You got to deal with
sometimes 14. It depends on the morning and the hormonal fluctuation. Does that happen to all you MTS? It's like women, I want to say normal, genetic women have a cycle. But MTF women seem to have 3 or 4 cycles in a month. It's like, oh, my God, I can't keep up with her craziness. Which either crying or yelling, or I'm like, okay, what is it now?
It's the man's fault.
She always blames me. I'm the one even if I didn't do it.
It's the man's fault. It always is the man's fault.
Even if I didn't do a thing, she always blames me. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go in my little corner. You let me know when you're done, and I'll come back.
Sweetheart, just remember, we do have a tile floor on the meat station bed. So if you put your foot in your mouth, you may just be sleeping on the cold tile floor.
Yeah. All right, guys. It looks like we got 3 minutes left. Let's see what else we're going to talk about. You guys support my music. If you go on the Comings from Trans Support.blogspot.com, there's links there. The album's Enslaved, the book, my biography, The Mirror Makes No Sense. We're also thinking about writing another book, but possibly just putting it in an e-book type of format, since that's the wave of the future. If you have any ideas, anybody want us to discuss anything, please let us know. I guess that's about it. We got 2 minutes and 26 seconds left. If any callers want to call in, if not, I'm just going to bid you good night with another one of my tracks. This one's called Enslaved, and you call this freedom. Think again. All right, guys, good night. Remember, we love you.
Good night.
And remember to love yourselves, too. Thank you again for all the listeners and all the great guests we've had in the past, and we're looking forward to bringing you a lot more. Te amo. Good night, buenas noches, y gracias a todos. Freedom.
jail and a nursing home, and all you work for now is gone enslaved. And you call us freedom, free to pay your taxes, and so what to do? Too bad human all lies. This whole revolution, I came to the conclusion that it's all a game, enslaved. And you call us freedom, free to pay your taxes, and so what to do? It's all a lie. This whole revolution, I came to this conclusion.